Hey everybody, it's Dr. Susan Bernstein and welcome to Leadership Lessons. I'm thrilled to be with you as always, and today I want to talk about something that is very near and dear to my heart, and it's the difference between criticism and curiosity, and it can make a real difference in your leadership. So that's what I want to get into with you today. And I've got a little presentation for you. This won't take longer than a few minutes to share with you. Again, this is episode 4, Cultivate Curiosity Over Criticism. And for those of you who I haven't had the chance to meet either online or in person, I'm Dr. Susan Bernstein. I'm an executive coach and leadership consultant, and my mission is to help you master the strategy and psychology to elevate your leadership. You'll find me at drsusanbernstein.com. Let's jump in. So today in the webcast, I want to look at two things with you. It's easy to get angry at people, right? Like we can get disappointed, frustrated, annoyed, all those kinds of things. I want to talk about, as a leader, what you do with that and how to actually think about those things. And then how to transform that anger into a force for good. Because look, when you're hot, it's like a candle, right? A candle can either illuminate, which is a force for good, or it can incinerate. That's a force for bad. And yes, there are times that anger can really be a force that's helpful, but I don't want it to incinerate. So it's easy to get angry at people, right? I mean, in a way, it's like, how in the world do you deal when you're so upset with somebody else? You're upset that, let's say, I hear all kinds of things from leaders. So I hear this person didn't do what they said they were going to do. This person quit on me. This person, did something and did a piss poor job of it. Those kinds of things. And when you're experiencing that, you have a choice in how you respond to that. You can either get super reactive or you can come to a place of neutrality. And I want to share with you how to actually do that. So let me just zip back over and put up a visual for us. So in a way, this is the challenge that we're at. And that, look, it's easy for us humans to get angry because we are fault finders. Our brains are wired to look for what's dangerous, what's bad, what's wrong, more so than what's good and what's positive. Not very helpful. That's how they're wired naturally. If we don't practice, if we don't have like a meditation practice or some kind of a habit that we get ourselves in to see something else. So I don't know about you, but when I see somebody who is doing something wrong, I can get agitated. But if I put myself in the same spot, if I'm like, if I was them, would I do the same thing? And it used to be, well, no, I'm so superior, I would do the right thing. But people don't try to do anything bad. Like, have you done anything that you were disappointed in? And did you wake up that morning saying, gee, I think I'll just be a jerk? I don't know anybody who wakes up and says that. So the people in your life who seem like they're being jerks don't generally try to be jerks. So the thing that I want to talk about is how in the world is it that, whoops, I'm just losing I'm losing my screen there. So I want to get back to the presentation, and having a little hard time doing that. Sorry, I'm still learning this software. But yeah, it's easy to get angry at people, and people do mess up. They disappoint us. They do things outside of our realm of expectations. And I deliberately picked this picture of an angry monkey because that's what we can kind of feel like, right? You feel like the angry monkey. And that's not a lot of fun to feel like that angry monkey, right? So I want to invite something else. If you want to be a different kind of leader, if you want to be the kind of leader that people like to be with, instead of doubting all the things that are going on with people, second guessing them, what tends to happen is, so let's say I watch somebody get a piece of work in late and I'm like, see, they don't care about me, or see, they're trying to thwart my leadership, or see, and we make up stories. So instead of just going immediately to our own story, I want to suggest a practice. And that is, for the next 24 hours, I want you to actually think of somebody you're upset with, angry with, and it doesn't have to be at work, because this practice is a practice. And if you practice it outside of work, you can bring it into work. So in the next 24 hours, I want you to try out being curious and ask yourself, I wonder what's going on. Like instead of being critical. So when you catch yourself being critical, being judgmental, having opinions, having expectations, especially those that are negative about people, I want you to be like the little baby. Um, their babies are wildly curious, or like look at everything with fresh eyes. What if you looked at the situation with fresh eyes? So that's the practice I want to invoke for you. I want you to try that out, and I'd love to hear what happens. So if you're watching this on YouTube, please leave me a comment in the bottom. I'd love to hear what happens for you. One of my teachers, I love this expression that one of my teachers, a yoga teacher, said, as long as you don't compliment yourself, your environments, and your job, you will always be miserable. If you don't compliment, complaints bring misery, compliments bring strength. So the other piece of this is, can you be curious and can you bring compliments? We remember complaints much more. So if you want to create a positive environment as a leader, you need to give compliments, and not just open-ended like, you're great, you're wonderful. Be specific in your compliments. Share with somebody exactly, like, I saw the colors you chose for that brochure for your client, and I watched your client's eyes light up. What a great job you did in choosing colors that you knew would be fitting with their design going forward. You know, the specificity of your compliments brings a lot of strength and feels good, right? You appreciate that when somebody does it. So as a leader, I encourage you to do that for others. So for your next steps to leadership, I always like to make leadership lessons practical. Write down a situation where someone messed up or disappointed you. What might you be assuming about them? And what if you got curious instead? How could you respond with compassion? And what compliment can you offer instead of a complaint? So these are some things that you can actively do to switch up your leadership, to make the kind of leadership you're using inviting, welcoming. Now, I'm not suggesting that you become a Pollyanna and let everybody push you around. There may be legitimate reasons that your anger is showing you that something's really wrong and needs to get fixed. But if you have a tendency to jump to to complaining, to criticizing, to things where you're looking for faults, to complaints, switch that up. Try. I also would love to know, what leadership issues would you like me to talk about on leadership lessons each week? Please, I welcome you to let me know at hello@drsusanbernstein.com. And you can join me weekly. If you want to get on live and see what I'm doing live, Mondays at 9:30 a.m. Pacific, I do Mind Body Mondays, which are micro shifts, little changes you can do to make you a more resilient leader, to handle stress better. And then on Wednesdays, my webcast is Leadership Lessons with Dr. Susan. So if you want to know when those are going live and watch live and leave questions for me that you can ask in the chat, you can do that by subscribing at crowdcast.io/Dr. Susan Bernstein. And you can also find me on YouTube and subscribe. Just look up Dr. Susan Bernstein. And I hope you'll subscribe to the channel so that you always get updates, so that I'm in your YouTube stream. So thank you so much. And if you'd like to, the support in becoming the kind of leader you'd like to be, I'd love to help you. Please email or call me, and you can apply for a complimentary consultation. We'll talk about what's happening in your leadership and explore a potential coaching relationship to support you in turning into the kind of leader you've always wanted to be. You can do that by reaching out to me at hello@drsusanbernstein.com, or call me at 415-508-8250. Outside the US, just add a 1 in front of that. So thank you so much. It's a joy as always to be with you. And remember, stay strong in your leadership and choose to be curious instead of criticizing. Thanks so much, everybody.